What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about how narcissists use reverse psychology on you. And there are so many things that they say to you in a moment, depending on what it is you just said to them, whether you called them out on something or anything. And what they like to do is come at you with these different type of, they use different ways to try to make you feel bad. And so in this video, I just want to name some of the things that they do to use reverse psychology on you. The first one is they say you need help. The narcissists love to tell you that you need help. And when they say that, that's like the only comeback they have when you told them about themselves and they just don't have anything to say in defense. So it's easier for them to just tell you that you're the one that needs the help, not them. The second thing they're known to say is you're crazy. They love to call people crazy, even though it's really a reflection of themselves. Like, you can't call them out on something and they admit to it or question you like, well, what do you mean that I'm crazy? What do I do to make you think I'm crazy? They don't even care about how, they treat you. And when you tell them, you need to check yourself. They lack self-awareness in a big way. And so that's why it's easier for them to tell you that you're the crazy one. The next thing that they normally say is that you're delusional. That goes along with, being crazy. It's pretty much the same thing as telling you that you're crazy. Or not so much as calling you crazy, but more so just telling you that you're overthinking in a way. That's their way of telling you that you're overthinking. You're thinking too much into it and stuff like that. You're delusional. Just the insult itself is just too much for a person to take on once they have pretty much poured their heart out to you and tell you what it is that the narcissists do that bothers them. And for a narcissist to call people crazy or delusional, these words are very powerful and it kind of sticks to a person. And it puts you in your feelings, and sometimes it makes you even question yourself, like, well, am I crazy? Or, and you even think that way so much to where you go ask other people for advice, like, well, I just had an argument with so-and-so and they call me crazy. Am I crazy? So it really gets to you and make you start questioning your own sanity. So that's why narcissists call you crazy and delusional, because they want you to question your sanity. They want you to feel some type of way, and it gives them supply. Of course, you're giving them the reaction that they want. They want you to just keep coming back to them for an explanation as to why did you call me this. And it kind of takes you away from the moment when you call them out on something. So that's how narcissists use reverse psychology on you, because they refuse to accept the fact that, they should at least just try to have some type of self-reflect and say, well, yeah, I am wrong. They should admit to their wrongs, but they don't. Before they do that, they will insult you. It makes it easier for them to deal with, their own behavior rather than admit to their own wrongs. So that's the next thing they do, is call you delusional. And one of the number one things that they use as a way of reverse psychology is to call you sensitive. You're too sensitive. They call you sensitive as a way to not take responsibility for insulting you, for doing something that hurts your feelings, for not acknowledging your feelings, not having enough respect for you as a person, as someone with feelings. They just don't care. So when you say something to them in a way where you expect an apology, or you expect them to just kind of explain it. So explain this to me. They will do everything to dodge, the right way to answer the question or the right way to respond to you. And so the easiest way out for them to just get away from it, to avoid you, is to call you sensitive. Narcissists are known for calling people sensitive. after they hurt their feelings, after they've said something to insult them. The next thing that they say is like they really, really hit below the belt when they say things like, I wish I would have never met you. Now, I never really had nobody to tell me they wish they never met me, but I've heard other people's stories dealing with narcissists and being in a toxic relationship with someone who will tell them, I wish I never met you. Now, that is like the worst thing that you can say to someone who haven't done you anything wrong. And the narcissist feels so entitled to the point where when they don't get what they want from you, they just say things and they don't think about it. And they say things that really stick with you again. If you tell somebody, I wish I would have never met you, that really hurts. And when you really take the time out, to just think about it, like, well, damn, you really feel that way about me? Like, you really hate me? That's pretty much where it goes from there. You can't think of nothing else but to be like, well, if you wish you would have never met me, why were you like this? Or why were you acting like that? Or you didn't act like, you wasn't acting that way the other night or the other day or something like that. And again, it gives them this reaction that they want. They want you to keep pining behind them. They want you to run behind them to explain, well, if you feel this way, then why were you acting that way? So that's why they say things like, I wish I would have never met you. And even though they don't feel like that, again, it makes it easier for them to not, deal with their own ways. They'd rather stay the way they are and just act like children and have tantrums and just say things to really hurt you. And they don't care. They really don't care at the end of the day. That's why you will hardly ever get an apology out of a narcissist. If you do, the apology usually go as, I apologize to you if I hurt your feelings. Because, if you really listen to the apology, they throw the if in there because they still don't admit to the fact that they have done wrong. They will never admit to being wrong. That's why they say it's easier for them to throw the if in there. And if you're not really paying attention to it, you'll just go ahead and accept the apology, and then they'll be doing it to you more and more again, which means they never really felt any remorse for what they done to you in the first place. That's why they say, if I've done you something wrong, I didn't mean it. It's never any self-reflection on a narcissist. They never admit to being wrong. I was wrong. That was a bad thing I did. I wish I wouldn't have done it. I take that back. I don't like the way it made you feel. That would be the proper way to apologize to someone. The next thing they say, and this is going to be the last one, is that you're a waste of time. They do this when they've kind of went no contact for a while and then they want to just pop back up into your life. And they see that you're not going to accept them back the way that it ended. And you're going to kind of lay down some ground rules and it's going to have to be like this from now on. You're just going to have to, when you get to the point where you tell them, we need to sit down and talk about this. Because from now on, I get to have my options. You don't get to make these decisions in a relationship and, blah, blah, blah. And they don't want to hear rules. They can give the rules, but they can't be told what the rules are going to be from now on. So they turn that into an argument because they don't know how to have a civil conversation and see things from your perspective. So instead, it's easier for them to just say, don't even worry about it. This was a waste of time. You were a waste of time. I wish I wouldn't even came back your way. I wish I wouldn't even called you. I knew this was going to be a waste of time. That's just their way of having another tantrum, acting like a child because they can't have their way in the moment. So those are the things that narcissists do to use reverse psychology on you to make you kind of look in the mirror at yourself and be like, is something really wrong with me? Do I need to work on something with me in order to make this person accept me fully and completely? And trust me, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all the narcissists. It's all narcissistic abuse. So that's the end of this video. Thank y'all for watching. Leave your comments down below, and I'll talk to you on Friday.